have dedicated the last couple of months of Instant Classics to those willing to stand up against, and very blunt, from the Mark Twains to the Voltaires of the world, those men who stand, and women who stand up and look in the eye the corruption of government, the erosion of morality, the compromising of our liberties. Look in the eye those issues and call it what it is. We've got today, and all of this week, it's H.L. Mencken week. And if you know anything about H.L. Mencken, he can stand in the company of any of those fellas. And the Twains and the Voltaires of the world, here's a guy who was absolutely relentless in his attitude towards corruption. He had no time for fools, which is to say, he had no time for the American Congress. Let's take a few quotes from H.L. Mencken to begin Mencken week. Every election is a sort of advance auction sale of stolen goods. Every time we elect them, all we're doing is electing a new group of people who are going to auction off our own rights, liberties, and our tax money to the highest bidder. Every election is a sort of advance auction sale of stolen goods. How about this? A good politician is quite as unthinkable as an honest burglar. Number 3, a politician is an animal which can sit on a fence and yet keep both ears to the ground, right? An animal that is completely aware, ear to the ground, of what's going on, and yet will still sit on the fence because principle might actually require you to choose one side or another. I like this next one. Democracy is a pathetic belief in the collective wisdom of individual ignorance. Let me repeat that. This is one of the greatest takedowns of democracy I have ever seen. And Mencken is one of the great adversaries of might makes right democracy that the world has ever produced. He knew that the Greeks were right. He knew that the founding fathers were right. This idea, one vote to one man and let the mob rule, is worse in some ways than anarchy. He says, and I quote, "Democracy is the pathetic belief in the collective wisdom, the wisdom of mobs, putting their faith in the individual of the individuals who make up the mobs." Right? This is the problem with democracy. If everybody's vote is equal, you are actually skewing the game. Because the ignorant, the selfish, the venal, the uneducated, their vote counts as much as the wise, judicious, socially aware man's. Exactly right. Mencken we're going to have a lot of fun with Mencken all week, but one of those guys that stands up to all the folly, and boy, is America a target for this, of what's going on now.